I hope you guys had a great holiday. We're just wrapping up the whole holiday season of 2023 and decided to do a little bit of a review on some of the products that we have purchased over the last few years and the things that I'd say work best at camp. Definitely, I love space saving. I love keeping it simple. You don't always need the highest end product to have the best product, right? And we use our stuff. I think if you've watched any of our videos, we're out there, a couple times a month at least, trying to use our equipment and our gear. And a key for us is to pack light, pack useful, and be smart. So come along as we review some of our favorite products of this year and things that have been here maybe a little bit longer than a year. All right, so we're going to start with cooking. And one thing that we did, I guess when we very first started, we had a 2-burner system. Always burned hot on one side, low on the other. And it was kind of bulky. It didn't fit in any of the cases that we like to use. So recently we did purchase the gas one. And the gas one has actually been really good. The burner has a true low setting and a pretty good high setting. We don't typically do a lot of gourmet cooking at camp. But yeah, so far this is good. I might buy a second one just to have two if I ever have a 2-burner meal that's needed. But the nice thing is it's convertible. So it does do propane. So you can put in a green propane bottle. You can also get the adapter for like a 5-gallon, 10-gallon tank and so forth. Typically we only carry a tank, but in the winter I find we use a lot of the tank for fires, which is probably going to be the next subject here. But with this one, I just carry a little green can, and it's great. It works great. All right, so next subject that we're going to talk about is fire. And yes, we live in Arizona, but it gets cool at night, especially if we go up to the mountains. And even in the summer, sometimes it's nice just to have a little fire for ambiance. One thing we don't typically do is wood fires. Most of Arizona is in a burn ban, I'd say 6 to 8 months out of the year. But we have this big one and we love it. It does put off a lot of heat. It's a great one. That's all I have to say about it, I guess. But if you can tell, it's round. And so when you're trying to pack the bed of the truck, it can be a little awkward. So it kind of takes up some dead space and things like that. So recently we went to the fire can. We absolutely love the fire can. We've used it for a few times now. We do have the rocks in there, but it's great. It's all I need at camp. So the next item, it seems so silly, but for most of you who have rooftop tents, probably don't really care for the mattress, right? Now we purchased, I think it was a Lost Horizon. It's an airsoft type mattress for the tent, out with the iCamper mattresses. But one thing that was always kind of inconvenient, you take the bag and you blow it up. Well, this little pump will blow it up. It'll deflate. We use it fully charged, probably 5 to 6 uses at least. But it just makes putting the mattress away in the tent so much easier. We don't have to take it out and it gets all the air sucked out. So that is a great find. I want to say it's even under $50, but it's probably one of the best little air pumps. And yes, it is little, seems like it's an expensive waste of money, but when you're trying to pack up camp, it just makes things easy. Now we pack one small box, and I'm going to get to those boxes here in a minute, for kitchen stuff. And all of these items fit in that box. So my favorite thing in the whole world, again, space saving. And we bought these little coffee pour overs. So you just boil your water, put your filter and your coffee in there, put it on top of your cup, and just let it drip. Set it and forget it. Now what we ended up doing is buying a collapsible kettle. So you can see it's steel on the bottom. It's got a lock here, and then it just collapses on down, and boom, you got your space saved. Now to go with that, I have measuring spoons and cups that are also collapsible, and these come in handy once in a while. Again, we don't do a lot of gourmet cooking. And then I have collapsible bowls. So I mean, this stuff fits in our little Front Runner soft pack, no problem. I even have a collapsible sink with a drain. And then also it does double as a cutting board. So if you collapse it all down, You even have a knife on the bottom, and the knife is actually pretty good. All these items you can get on Amazon. I want to say the most expensive was probably the kettle, but yeah, they're definitely awesome. And then with that said, another item that we like to use is, I think it's called a foldable bath mat. It's bamboo, but we do a lot of cooking on the tailgate. And of course, you know, we don't have the tailgate table. Would it be nice? Yeah, of course. At the end of the day, this works out really good. I think this one was like in the 20s, but definitely gives us some like counter space. It does fold up, and it also fits in our front runner packs. So with this, you just go like that, and then it fits right in, and all this stuff goes in as well. So when we first started camping and doing this, I bought these little pans off of Amazon with the plastic handles, right? Pretty inexpensive. The handles melted off, everything else, and they were a pain, and they were tiny. So then after that, I bought a cast iron skillet. The thing's huge. You gotta make sure you clean it properly, season it, and it's heavy, right? So I found these pans. They're Wheelers, and I absolutely love these pans. I did get the non-stick, and they're probably on the expensive side. It was kind of a leap for me to want to purchase a pan that costs this much, but I mean, when you're camping, you want some quality, right? And these pans have done everything. They're all stackable on the inside of this bag. You also have your handle for the frying pan, and this just twists in right there. Now, on certain trips, one-nighters, things like that, when I know what I'm cooking, because I do plan everything in advance, I just take the one pan I might need. We use that to boil any water or, you know, do any dishes, whatnot. But yeah, definitely these pans have been really good. I want to say they cost about $159, and we bought them, let's see, I think it's been about a year. So I think it was last December. And then just FYI, I'm gonna leave all the links for these items. None of the items, of course, are sponsored. We paid for everything with our own money. You know, it's just, if I can help someone save buying it 6 times and understanding how we have gone through this process, it's totally worth it for me. Because these are just things that work for us. They may not work for everyone. They're simple and useful. And like I said, I went through how many purchases of pans till I found one that I actually liked. All right, so another item that we found on Amazon, and again, I think almost every link on here is gonna have an Amazon link, or every item, were these headlamps. I wanna say it was like 2 headlamps for $25, and people always buy these really expensive headlamps, and they love them and everything else, but these ones are really comfortable. You can wear them on your hat, they tilt. The nice thing is at night, like from perspective of a girl, I guess, but if you put it on the hand mode, you can wave your hand right in front of it. They turn on, they'll turn off, but it's super convenient. They're super bright. I only charge them like maybe once every 3 or 4 trips. They are different settings, different colors. And yeah, I find these is probably one of the useful tools at camp. I mean, you always need light. We have lots of light built in the truck, but this is the thing that is our go-to when we're walking around. Next item, let's talk towels. So usually we want to pack light. We want something that's going to dry on the fly. And we have been using the BOGI towels, about 1.5 years. I think it was our first set of towels. I said, nope, that's what I'm going to try out. I want to say they're about $15 a set. You get a large, and then you get the washcloth, and they come in a little pouch. I'd say over the years, it's hard to stuff in the little pouches, and they ripped. So we just typically fold them and put them in our kitchen box or bathroom box. But they're great towels. Like, I have a set that I use for just dishes, so I have different colors, right? So I have green, dark blue, and slate. And so, you know, Mike and I, we each have our own set, and then we have one set that we use for like dishes, so the washcloth, the towel. I can hang these, so this strap unbuttons. And if you've seen them in any of the videos, you can hang them on like the rails up here, over there, and it just dries out. It keeps dry. I usually like to keep it up here because if you don't notice, the water port. We love the water port. In the winter, it's typically in the bed because we don't pack as much. In the summer, I do have the hitch like mount for it. And in the summer, it'll get nice and warm. Now, the nice thing about this is I do have it mounted to the MOLLE panels, but you can pressurize it with our ARB compressor. You can do it by hand, and then you just have your hose that you put over the side of the truck like this, and you wash your hands and you got your towel. I usually put soap up there, but you know, just something about having clean hands at camp is definitely a plus for me. So this item is kind of a funny story. We didn't really camp in winter. It was too cold. I like the heat. Summer, all day long, put me by a lake with my paddleboard, I'm out. Now, in the winters, you know, we started camping in the desert, and yes, the desert gets cold. We camped out at one of our favorite spots. I think it was about 28 degrees, which, you know, I know if you live in the north and different areas of the country, it's different, but it's definitely chilly out there, especially when it's all dry. Anyways, so we bought a Vevor, I think it was, initially. But then, of course, you have to build your case, which, like you, my time's important. And we decided, I think one of the guys on one of my Facebook groups had bought one of these. And so we're like, hey, you know, it's a little bit more expensive, but let's try it out. And we're going into the second season with it. I love it. It is Bluetooth. The app works great. So in the mornings, when it's cold and you're like, okay, time to turn on the heater, I can just flip that button, get it to turn on and warm up in the tent, and no one has to get up in the middle of the night if it is cold. We usually just put it on like when we go to bed and then turn it off, and then in the mornings just heat everything up with it. But Hcalory, they've been a really great company. I mean, it's a solid product. There's a new one that came out this year, which of course I really want, but this one works just fine for now. But it's definitely our go-to in the winters. I mean, 3 or 4 months of the year, it makes it comfortable to go camp, and I like that. So something that we bought, and they're the original Front Runner hard boxes, and I know everyone complains, but I bought a pack of 4 of them, I guess, about 1.5 years ago, and then I have the extended size lids. That way I can fit my pots and pans in there and not have any issue. And they've been great. Like, I know they're not waterproof, but we used them in a couple different monsoon storms. If you've ever been into Arizona and seen a monsoon, you'll know what we're talking about. Nothing ever got wet or dirty on the inside. So that's our go-to. We usually have one for kitchen supplies, and then we have one for recovery gear in the bed of the truck. And then we usually have our soft boxes. So we have a kitchen box and a bathroom box. Bathroom box is going to have like hygiene items, towels, soap, you know, all that good stuff. And then the kitchen box, of course, has some dry foods and then some other stuff in there. And we put those on the back seat in the truck when we camp. So, you know, when we pack up the truck, the hard stuff's in the back, and then the soft ones go in the back seat. I want to say the soft boxes, oh, what did they run? I think $49. At the time I bought them, I think they came down. But we'll leave some descriptions if they still have them. I know they no longer have this one, and that's fine. I think most people prefer the new style. But again, I love these boxes, and I'll use them until I can't use them any longer. So another item that we bought, and we had like these cheapy, I don't know, chairs for a long time. They lasted. We used to take them to the lakes. We kind of use those when we would camp. They had a cup holder, but of course the nylon and stuff, it was cheap. So we looked at replacing them, and we did buy some hammock chairs, which we absolutely love, but they are bulky. So on 90% of the trips, because we don't carry tables, we don't carry any of that stuff, these are our go-tos. So they have a little tray here, table. You can put it down, lock it into place. They got a good sized back, and then you have all this storage. So you have the big compartment here. Like, I put my glasses in there at night whenever at the campfire. I mean, you just got storage, storage, storage. Headlamps, you know, all the usable stuff that you want at your fingertips. Bear spray. But yeah, we love these chairs. I think they were like $69 on Amazon. We actually went to Amazon trying to buy, I think, the front runner chairs everyone talks about, but we saw these with the table and we're just, yeah. And they were good. They packed down really small. One of the things that we just love about it too, you know, when we're packing the bed, it's like Tetris, right? So you always kind of want to make sure you're buying stuff that can fit in a certain space. And I find it really fits well in between items, right? So if you need cushion somewhere in between, like let's say the fridge goes here, you got your chair, fireplace, propane, and water, right? So everything kind of just flows. So the very first time we went out camping, we did, well, I shouldn't say very first time, our first major trip. We did 6 days with our youngest child at the time, and we went all over western Arizona into Nevada and Utah. And we had a little EcoFlow, which does great, but it was summer, basically. It was into May. I think it was about 105, 110 mostly the whole trip. And Utah was a little bit cooler, which was nice. But at the end of the day, we had that EcoFlow, bought the solar panel, and I went cheap on the solar panel. I should have bought the EcoFlow brand at the time. But anyways, the solar panel lasted us a day. So we were constantly starting the truck, running the fridge. I mean, just all the trials and errors. We decided that a battery box is the way we're gonna go. So we picked up this little battery box, wanted to try out the system, and so kind of messy still, but we're gonna clean it up. And we actually have some big plans for that. But the battery box we got from Ironman4x4. It's already got 12 volt and a couple USBs in there. We did buy a LiFePO battery, and we put that in there, got the solar controller all wired up. Now this thing has been a lifesaver. We don't run pretty much anything except charge watches, which I'll plug into the battery, and then the fridge, right? Most of any equipment we take with us, like cameras or drones, we charge those on the fly. So if they're needing charge, either between destinations, but yeah, so far this has been great. We do have a 50-watt solar panel that is on top of the tent, and that stays there totally, you know, 24/7. And it's a flexible solar panel. I'm trying to remember the name of the company, but I'll kind of leave that link in the description as well. And we have a 160-watt EcoFlow panel that if we're at somewhere for like a longer trip, I think when we went to Powell this year, we were there for 3 days. It was warm. So we just, like, you know, add extra juice. We put the solar panel on top of the truck, and that thing does great. And we wired the ends of the EcoFlow to fit into the Anderson plug on the battery. So again, it's just a 100 amp hour LiFePO battery. And then Mike did put an Auxbeam back here, and this one runs all of our lights, of the rear lights. So I moved a set of our yellow to our pro lights over here to the back of the bed. And at night, it's great, especially in the winter in Arizona. It gets so dark so early. It gives us some added light. And then we have rock lights set up in the bed, and those run off of there. So pretty much we can leave everything going as long as we want. But one thing we are doing is upgrading the battery. So we've been looking for the type of box. We may put an inverter on it. We'll see. I hate having anything I have to plug in at camp. I mean, the fridge is kind of a necessary thing, in my opinion, in Arizona. But the other one's going to give us a lot more juice. So remember when I said I think fridge is a necessity here in Arizona? We had our set power more than a year and a half now. It's been a great fridge, honestly. If there's more than 2 people, a little bit small because we keep mostly drinks in it, honestly. But we recently came across this company called Explorer, and we just got this the other day, turned it on. So far, super happy with it. I love the control screen. I love that there's 2 different compartments. It does go minus into the negative, so that's always great for the frozen compartment. Or you can use both of them as a fridge or so on. Our set power, like I said, it was a great fridge, year and a half. It spent a lot of time in the back of this truck and our lid kind of deformed, wouldn't seal quite right. I'm guessing from Arizona heat. But either way, they were great. They sent us out a warranty. However, they didn't make our original fridge anymore, and I didn't like the wheels and everything on the new fridge. So yeah, we bought this one. So can't wait to get this one out on the trail, see how we like it. It's kind of massive, but definitely a good fridge. 75. Yeah, it's a 75. So a little bit bigger than our old 65, I think it was. 60, yeah. But anyway, so that's our newest addition. But yeah, any fridge is, you know, you have to go with what's going to work for you and size, right? So as you keep going and go out, venture further, having something that I can keep ice in, like for summer and drinks or water, you know, things like that, that's important to me. So I am happy that I finally got my upgrade. Well, that's it for us, guys. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you do, please don't forget to like and of course subscribe. Free to you, helps us, and of course as we try to make more videos coming into 2024. I hope everyone had a great holiday, and cheers to the new year. Thanks, bye.